Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Noe Rivera Jr. I am an associate system engineer with the system management engineering team for CommonSpirit. Today, we have the documentation created for Windows 11 and how to get well adjusted to Windows 11, as well as some customization options for you as an end user to be able to make on your own, just to get a better feel for Windows 11, what it can do, and just to be comfortable with this new upgrade as it starts going live in your environment and at your hospital and different facilities. So right now, if you're watching this, you're currently on our homepage of our documentation, and this is basically for visual learners. If you wanted to have more of a visual experience with the documentation versus walking through the documentation, reading it on your own, and trying to get um, acclimated to some of the text that's on there. This is for you. So just to start off, you'll be welcomed to the um, normal login screen that you're used to on Windows 10. Nothing changed here. Same CommonSpirit branding. So we'll start off with our username and password. Okay. Now that we're logged in, you'll be presented to the new Windows 11 home screen desktop. Um, so we're going to walk through the documentation that's on the website. So just an introduction. This is just Windows 11 introductory documentation. We just have some key information on some of the new features that Windows 11 brings, and as well as some settings that you as an end user can make, just to make the OS feel a little more personalized. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to anyone on EUS, your local IT, your local EUS technicians. So starting off, we're going to talk about desktop groups. This is a new feature in Windows 11. And you can basically, if you're working on a single monitor and want to have multiple apps running at once, but want to have separate views for separate portions of your work, we can now have the ability to do so with desktop groups. So right now we have our first desktop. I'm going to open up just a simple Chrome tab and File Explorer. And let's just say we wanted to have these two apps open for one portion of our work here today. And we also want to have a separate tab where we want to have Zoom open and maybe something on Citrix. So what we do is go over to New Desktop. So we have our new desktop open. We're going to launch Zoom on here, as well as open up Citrix. So now the two apps are open. We can basically jump between the two desktops, right? If you're starting off your day reading emails, going through some files, we'll go to desktop one. You'll be presented with Chrome. You can have File Explorer open. And if we wanted to switch to a more out on the floor type meeting or running a Citrix app, we go over to the second desktop and we're presented with the two apps being open. So just a cool new feature for those of you that have multiple workflows and want to have different customization options for you to have different apps open on different screens. So that's pretty much it for desktop groups. The next thing is changing your theme. So this unfortunately cannot change your desktop background. This is managed by our organization. So this Hello Human Kindness background will remain the same. But if some of you guys are more used to having a dark mode or a light mode at your home PC, you can do so by right-clicking the desktop, hitting Personalize, and you'll be presented with the settings screen. And on here, you can go ahead and change to maybe a lighter theme or a darker theme, depending on your personal preference. Okay, moving on. The next portion is just some new keyboard shortcuts that are available in Windows 11. I have to unfortunately use my on-screen keyboard for this. this will work on your normal keyboard that's in front of you. This is just for me since I am on a virtual machine. So if we wanted to open up something like search, you can use Windows key S, opens up the search bar for you. A few other shortcuts that are on here, opening up your clipboard history. If you're copying and pasting, you can open it up using the Windows key and V. So you have your clipboard on here. And then there's also a link on that same section that you can go to that has just all sorts of different shortcuts that can make your life a little easier and improve your workflow. Okay, the next section is just basically introducing you to the desktop and the start menu. One of the things that you might notice that's different from Windows 11 to Windows 10 is the start menu currently sits in the middle of the screen now. So you can click on here. You'll see your commonly used apps, different pinned apps that you can also add yourself. By right-clicking on the app shortcut and hit pin to start. And now when you go back in the start menu, you can see that Zoom's an app for you to choose. So nothing to dive much further into with the start menu on the desktop. I'll go into more detail on how you can customize the actual taskbar and start menu placement. And there's also a link with a tutorial on how to get the full customization experience of the start menu if you wish to do so. Okay, moving on to File Explorer. File Explorer, for the most part, remained the same from Windows 10 to Windows 11. You click on the folder icon that's in the bottom of your taskbar, and you get presented to your files. On the website, it just kind of a general description of what File Explorer is. And there's also a link on there as well that goes into greater detail. But I'll go ahead and go into the customization portion. So there is a lot more customization you can do on the taskbar itself. So right now we see that we're like in an icon mode. You can hit view, you can make your icons larger, and you can also change it into a list view if you're used to that. So a couple of different settings here in the view that you can play around with and kind of find something you're comfortable with. The next portion just goes into how to find your files. Pretty much the same thing as well from Windows 10 to Windows 11. You're going to hit the search bar and type in a file name, and you can see one of the files that I have on here is pulling up for me. So nothing to dive into really there. It's just a general description of how to find your files on your desktop. Okay, the next section is talking about the arranging of desktop icons. So you can see all my icons on the left side of the screen, but if you want either larger icons or smaller icons, or you want to have Windows go ahead and auto arrange the icons, you can go ahead and right click, hit view, and right now we're currently in middle icons, or medium icons, sorry. If you wanted larger icons, you can go ahead and do that. And you can also go ahead and make it smaller, depending on your personal preference again. And there's also a couple of different things that you can have Windows do, like auto arrange, like you just saw on the left side. I'm going to go ahead and switch it back, but that's just, again, just a personal preference. Whatever works for you, you can go ahead and set it through there. Another setting that a lot of people ask for is changing your text size. So I'm going to go ahead and show that. So what you want to do to get to that, you can right click the screen again, right click your desktop, go ahead and go into display settings. And on here, there's a scale option. You can click scale, and if you go to text size, you can play with the slider bar and kind of get somewhere that you're comfortable with, just to make the text a little bigger for you. Lastly, we're going to go over some of the things that have changed in Windows 11. Again, from my earlier point, one of the big things that stands out to most people when you initially log in is that the taskbar is currently in the center of the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can go ahead and move that to the left if you want to go back to a Windows 10 type look. So very simple. You go ahead and go into your search, go to settings, and in settings, you want to head over to personalization, and you want to look for taskbar. And right here at the bottom, there's the taskbar behaviors, and you want to send the alignment to be left. And now you should recognize this look of the taskbar, very similar to Windows 10. So that's how you get your taskbar to be off to the left. And again, if you want to go back to the Windows 11 version, just go ahead and go back to the same setting, make it centered, whichever one you prefer. All right, at this time, that's all that we have to cover for today. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your local EUS who can provide some more hands-on experience and hands-on support to guide you through this new OS. If you have any further items that were not discussed today or are not on our website documentation, EUS will provide that feedback to us to be able to either add it to our documentation so that other end users can have that same information. Thank you. You have a good day.